to another episode of Derp your Hooves. So today I have an even extra special treat for you. So, believe it or not, we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, this is the Taogs Hangar Huey, UH-1h. Let's go ahead and reset our caution light. Now, you might not believe it, but it is. And it's still marked in the marketplace as only being 2020 compatible, so we're going to find out why. And hopefully we don't find out anything bad why. So let's go ahead, and I like having my tablet GPS. And you see that there is some exterior shaking here. Okay. I'm going to go back to map view. So you can adjust the shaking just like you would any other way. And I'm still getting used to the cockpit controls. So we want our pitot on. And shift space will take us back to this view. Alright, so shift, it's like the walking keys. WASD. Right? Alright, so what I do want is I want my position lights on flash. And I want my anti-collision lights on. Oops, they're on. That looks good, so shift space takes us back. And I can adjust this using my trackball mouse any way I want. Okay. So, oh, and the collective works. So, where do I start? So let's go back to the outside really quick. So first of all, the Huey is not in the default aircraft for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And by the way, neither is UH-1h Airport. So I've done another video where I'm using the stock scenery for UH-1h Airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I said to myself, Pony, what would happen if you were to go ahead and, load in your third-party scenery? And I said, gee, I don't know. And I said, I hope I don't crash the sim out. Well, so it's not approved for 2024. And it is freeware that I got on flightsim.to. And I'm not going to take off conventionally, by the way. So this is the same add-on scenery for this airport that I use in 2020. But we are flying in 2024. So I'm not sure how glitchy it's going to be, but it is, again, as always, a huge improvement over the Asobo airport. And it's 2020, and it works. As well as this helicopter is also 2020, and it works. So a little bit of talk about that. I remember reading before Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was even available even for anyone to preview, that it was supposed to be backward compatible with 2020. And then developers started saying, well, Pony. They said stuff like, we can't guarantee you that our aircraft, all of our aircraft until we test them, is going to be compatible with 2024. Now, you might say, well, that's kind of weird, isn't it? And I'm going to say, no, not really, because there was something about the points of contact on the aircraft. Now, I'm not really feeling a major difference in the Huey as I fly it in 2024. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I see that the instrument panel has stopped shaking. And as I'm just kind of flying around the airport here, before we get to the stock scenery, I mean, you can see that right there is, the shadow on the ground, though, is the stock scenery because I didn't delete it. And that's what's in the, the Bing data. The Bada Bing data? So that's what's in the Bing data, and we're using the photogrammetry. But the rest of the airport is 100% third party. And I don't see anybody coming in. I do have live players, live weather, all the live stuff enabled, but I just don't see anybody this far out, and I'm not seeing nameplates. So maybe I have to go back and see if my nameplates are turned off, because I still have a lot to learn about this sim. But I mean, this is great. This is like wonderful, because I was worried. I was like, a lot of people were kind of disappointed that 2024 was not what they had expected, because the launch didn't go terribly well, with everybody having to sit in a queue. And there were lots of complaints and stuff like that. And I wanted to complain too, but I said, complaining's not going to do anything. I mean, I said, let's just wait till the queue's over and see what we can do about getting in and flying. And I was so eager to see what aircraft they had. Looks like that's missing in the end, which is also fine. I mean, sometimes it can't be perfect, but it's pretty good for what we got. So I'm pretty impressed that it took most of the third-party scenery. There's a couple items that aren't loaded in, and they're probably like third-party stuff that I'd have to load back in that are missing. But for the most part, this is a huge improvement. I'll take it. Making me happy. I might make this my home airport in Japan. So let's go for one of our more familiar flights. We're going to go to what I like to call Meow Meow Island. It's actually Arote Island. Not sure exactly how you pronounce it, but it's the home of the, Arote cat, which is an endangered species, and that's what kind of got me into this airport all the way out here one day, because I said, Pony, where do you want to fly? Because you're flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you have all of these airports available to you. You basically have the whole the whole world available to you. So where do you want to go? And I had heard about this cat, and I said, I'd like to go there. I'd really like to check that out. And that's what we're going to do again today. And I've already seen it. So let's see, what did they do in Flight Simulator 2024? Now hold on a second. So we're still using Bing graphics and photogrammetry, and to be quite honest with you, some of this is still pretty similar. I mean, we still got some melty buildings. I've seen them. And, we got some of our hiccups. People have complained about some of the giant trees. I found one in Tokyo. But I'm well aware, just like when I first flew 2020, and there were all kinds of bugs and glitches, and I said, well, this is going to happen. You know, it's a brand new sim. And so you either like 2024 or you don't. And I guess I'm going to have to fly this. Look, there's palm trees. I was going to say, I guess I'm going to have to fly this in 2020, but I've flown this airport so many times. And the one thing, and I had to do it in the Huey. Even if the Huey's not going to fly like a 2024 aircraft, and we're going to see if there's horrible glitches, I want to show you the one thing that we never get in 2020 because of the Bing maps and the photogrammetry. Let's see if I can hover in without hitting the water. The Huey's a really nice aircraft. See the water ripples in 2024, and I don't have to buy any third-party add-ons like I had for 2020 for that. And then you might even see the waves coming. Let's take a look. So let's get closer, and this is what I wanted to show you. Palm trees. Actual palm trees. Now in 2020, they're like these stone pillars. So they were removed and they actually planted, listen to me like it's real. They put in these palm trees. And if you ask me, it's not easy to do the external view. Let's try it though. So they put in the palm trees. Which would just be these horrible pillars before. Okay, that's right. Back to the cockpit view. Helicopters are not easy to fly in external view. So there's all these great palm trees. So that actually, in my opinion, makes kind of a difference in the sim. You might say, really, palm trees is what does it for you, Pony? Is that what got you there? Well, they're nice. It's nice that we have different types of foliage. Now, we're going to get going off the main land here, where the new Ishigaki Airport is. And we're going to get over to the Arote Island, however it is. And go check that out. And look, I'm stalling this out. Getting some of that rotor stall there. And the Huey, to be honest with you, is kind of flying exactly how it does in 2020 for the most part. Just my trim. Wow. I'm also doing some remarkable speed here in it. Any faster than 120, and I know it'll porpoise because it will in 2020. So let's not forget, we are in 2024. And I mean, overall, would you say the graphics are that much better? And I'm going to say, well, I mean, a little bit. I mean, you got to remember that this is a simulator. It's a sim. It's a video game. Okay? It's not real. It's not real life. And that's kind of obvious when you crash this time. Interesting little feature when you crash. I'm going to try not to crash. But we're booking it across the ocean here. And, I mean, I'm just going to say, by flying this in 2020 and now flying it in 2024, I'm noticing a huge difference. And you might say, oh, Pony, that's not the stock Taogs Hangar Huey, is it? Wow, we're like booking it. The Huey does not do 140 in 2020. 140 knots, that's pretty cool. That's a glitch I'll take. Hey, maybe it's not realistic, but this thing really moves. So, this is fun. Now, I've flown some of the other helicopters, and I'm going to release a video of one of the 2024 helicopters that I flew. But I wanted to do this video here because I want to show you what I just showed you. This is the 2020 aircraft. And it looks pretty damn good for 2020. And it works. And like I said, the airport back there is 2020 scenery. And for the most part, I would say about 98% of it is showing up. So it looks like we're able to customize 2024 without too many issues right now. And we'll see what happens because we already know that there's always going to be patches. You know, hopefully they don't kill this sim the way 2020 was just getting devastated sometimes by some of the updates. So this is another perk for 2024 that makes it worth it just a little bit more. The fact that I'm using a 2020 aircraft. Now I already know that some other people have tried it and they're like, you know, big whoop-de-doo pony. You know, I did things like I flew this plane, I flew that plane, and it's just not working right. And this isn't working, and that's not working. And I'm going to say, okay, we're really moving. So, how do I slow down? Okay, so we're going to drop the collective. Wow, it really is. Like, it really is moving faster than it does in 2020. I've never had it do 140 knots. Not that I remember. Not without being all crazy. So I don't know if that has anything to do with the flight model, you know, and people are like, oh, well, it's not realistic. Well, like I said again, it's a video game or a sim. So maybe we can get, you know, good old Taogs Hangar if they want to upgrade a 2024 version, or they want to upgrade this for a 2024 flight model that behaves more like the 2020, but I'll keep this one. So far it's fine to me. And now I'm not so sure what my altitude can be in this either. So that's a good question. We're probably going to have to try this in places where the service ceiling was something else. So I can definitely slow down by dropping my collective. Did it map everything out? Yeah, it did. I'm just talking out loud because, you know, I had to remap my controls. I had to rebind them. But okay, so I can slow down. Flies a little differently than it does in 2020, and it was really moving there. Let's adjust our trim to stop it from stalling out, because that's what it was doing. Getting a little bit of rotor stall. It was drooping on one side. Well, and you've also noticed that we've lost, in my opinion, some of that incredibly reflective ocean. I still see some of it, but this looks a lot better. So let's go ahead and let's just see how default it is as we fly along. And I don't think we're going to go back to the airport just because I don't want to make this a super long video. But I'm pretty impressed. Because like I said, I've flown this plenty of times. 2020. And oh yeah, everything's different. The whole layout's different. No way. Let's see, well, how do you know, Pony? I mean, as I land in the field here, that I probably shouldn't be landing in. I mean, if I was a farmer, I'd be a little pissed. Let's try and... Nope. Gently, Pony. Oof. Oofty doofty. Alright. Well, I mean, you can already see if you've flown 2020. I mean, I got my wheat. That's what it looks like. Or my weeds. Wafting around. And this is something we wouldn't get in 2020. Alright, so while we're here on the ground, let's hop back in the cockpit for a second. Let's see what happens if I try and open this thing up. And again, you know, like I said, you might say, hey, Pony, what I'm noticing here is the door's open, you can hide the headsets. Everything seems to work just fine. Except for we walk differently. Whoa! Okay, so, you see... Well... You know what might help? It might help if we get back into the pilot seat. Okay. Well, that was a little unexpected. I just tried to leave the pilot seat, and I guess I guess I bound some keystrokes the wrong way on the keyboard. That was fun. So now you see what happens. Now you see what happens if you crash in 2024. It does that, just putting you back on track. So that was fun. Okay, so let's bring it back down in the same wheat field we were in. Let's try to. Alright. Maybe I will make this a little longer video. Alright, so let's bring her down gently. As I remaster flying the Huey. Up. Alright. There we go. That was a better landing. Okay, so I'm just going to close the doors there. See if I can reach in with the mouse and close them. We're not going to walk around right now. That seemed to be a little dangerous. Well, I could leave the doors open, but I'd rather close them. And I know it'll fly with the doors open. We're going to have to work on some of those key bindings. Uh-oh, Pony. So what happens if you... I don't know. That was pretty weird, wasn't it? I must have... I don't know what I hit. What did I hit? I don't know what I hit. But let's not do it again. Okay. So, Shift 9, Shift 0, Shift Spacebar. I want to scroll out a little bit because I like getting a little bit wider view of the instrument panel. And up we go. Again, I'm going to have to check my key bindings. So I did kind of take off there a little quickly, but I do think that it was doing that before. 2020. Well, that was fun. So let's go explore. It really is taking off. I mean, it's taken off super quick. Almost like it shouldn't. And again, maybe that's just, you know, some of the disclaimers that we got from what I read on some of the flight simulator forums. I think I read it on the official forum. I know it wasn't on Facebook. Good old Facebook. But there was you know, an online post, article, whatever you want to call it, where, you know, they said, hey, you know, some of the 2020 aircraft that haven't been tested might not work right, so, you know, fly them at your own risk. And well, I mean, this really is just kind of soaring. What happens if I pull all the way back on the collective and nose down? I'm just curious. I mean, because this whole video really is a test of what happens 120, 140. Wow, this thing's like just hauling. Oop, whoop-de-doop. Nope, we don't want to do that. Okay. So, past 140, it hit the danger zone there, and I don't want to do that. That was interesting. So, I'm impressed. Now you might say, well, Pony, I mean, what's the big deal, right? I mean, well, some of these 2024 planes that we're getting, that we were given, well, that we paid for, just, there's certain things like you can't make custom liveries right now because they're not being downloaded to a community folder. And that kind of bums me out because, as you can see, I like my custom liveries. I like them a whole lot. And no offense, but I don't want to have to pay in the marketplace to have a custom livery. And I say, oh, well, I'll just buy it in the marketplace. Well, that's great. I mean, you know, if you're not a PC user, but if you're a PC user, then, well, maybe you'd like... There's the helipad, Pony. Where are you going? Maybe you'd like to have your own custom liveries, and anyhow, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to say that this is a workaround for it. Okay, so that's too fast, Pony. Yeah, it is literally like trying to learn how to fly this thing all over again. So it's not bad. It's just going to take some getting used to. Trim, Pony. Center line, Pony. Oh, look! There's little animals running around. Those are not Arote cats, by the way. I don't know what the hell they are. Well, let's go down. So I got little... Wow, they're all cracked out, too. I mean, I've never seen cats move like that before. So maybe we should buzz them in the helicopter? What do you say? Well, let's go and have an external look again. So, yeah, well, we're a little off and our rotors are hitting a tree. Now, those are not Arote cats. I don't know what they are. They're like... Look at that thing. It's all tweaked out. Well, let's reset our trim. Okay, and up we go. Let's check out these cracked out... Back on track. Oh, my rotor hit the tree. Okay. My rotor hit the tree. Man, we We still got those cracked out cats running around. Wow, they were all like they found a big bag of tweak. Big old bag of meth. That's why they move like that. All right. Well, where were they, and will they come back? So we were, before we hit the tree. See, I made that comment. I'm like, look, your rotor is awfully close to that tree. Yes, it is, Pony. Oh, I'm seeing something. And I know they had little animals in the preview. There they are, because those are hay bales. And those are not Arote cats. And not your view, Pony, your trim. Your trim, your view. Come in gently, Pony. You're gonna scare them off. Let's see how they move. Do they move like yeah, they're all tweaked out. Look at them. Stop feeding the animals meth. It's bad for them. Let's see. No, they don't seem to like helicopters too much. And I don't feel like crashing into the tree. So, what are these things supposed to be? They're the little helicopter killing cats. They like to kill helicopters by having you fly into trees. So this is a fun little park, isn't it? Are they anyways? Well, I don't know because I can't get close enough. But they are moving like they're all tweaked out, but it's still pretty cool. I mean, that's kind of cool. So, well, I guess that will have to be our Arote cats. That's interesting. That was fun. And again, you might say, well, Pony, I mean, look at, you know, how many times did you crash there, Pony? I don't know. I wasn't really counting. But it didn't end the sim, it put you back on track. And that, every pony, is how you know it's a game. In real life, you'd just be done. If you're lucky, you'd wake up in a hospital bed. Alright. So, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the tweaked out cats. That was fun. Alright, so let's let's fly a little bit along. What's this place called? Tweaker Cat Island. Arote Island with the Arote cats. Okay. Ooh. So the scenery's nice. Oh, I gotta get a hold of myself. Sorry. So the scenery's nice. Nice little touch. So this I'm sorry, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. That's how you know you're in a sim. Okay. Yep. So we're flying the Huey, right? Sorry. I'm not gonna edit this video. Oh, wow. that was fun. And I was kind of interested to see what kind of animals we'd have in the sim. And, well, now we know. Helicopter killing tweaker cats. Okay. So I'm enjoying the view as I fly along here. And, I'm actually pretty impressed by the by the trees. I know what I'll be dreaming about tonight. Wow. I know I will too. Alright, so let's go check out some of the other spots on the island that I've been to in the past. I guess this is going to be a little bit of a longer video. Now I put my specs in the last video that I did, which was actually the first video that I've done in this sim. I really need to pay attention to flying. Okay. So, I'm kind of getting a feel that the Huey is not incredibly, like, realistic, but it's fun to fly. I'm enjoying it. And I mentioned previously that I've flown some of the other helicopters that are in the sim. And some of them are pretty impressive. I'll leave it at that. There are some really nice helicopters that come with 2024. And I'd have to read the release list. Because what did I get? I got the Aviator Edition. Yeah, I paid the extra money for the Aviator Edition. But I think it was worth it. And I get the tweaker cats on Arote Island. That was a special gift for me, right? Okay. So, it's hard to say. I mean, I really am feeling a difference. I'm feeling a difference in the helicopter, by the way, by a lot. I mean, it should not be holding at 180. So, or 100. With the cyclic so low. So, there may be some issues here. Maybe the Huey is not really 100% accurate for 2024 as compared to how it is in 2020, but it's still pretty good. So let's go to the external view and just have a look at that. And I don't know. Looks pretty good to me. Let's try not to crash it because it's going to reset me. Yeah, it looks like we're about to crash into the ocean. Yeah, pretty much. How low are we? Oh, pretty low. Let's go over here. I've been over here in 2020. Boy, I wish I knew more about the island and all the places in it, but, you know, I'm not from Japan, so I'm pretty sure that, you know, I could always Google it. Google's your friend. I just want to see, I don't know, I want to see, I mean, I'm seeing ocean waves. I don't remember seeing ocean waves in 2020. Just my trim, nose it down. Just my trim. There we go. So I've been here before, and I'm fairly certain, even without being here in real life, that this is not what it looks like. In real life, anyways. But it is different than what I would have seen in 2020. And I can tell you that because that big square building over here, the big rectangle building, the L, is not there in 2020. I don't know what that is. Is it a school or something? And what do we got going on over here? Looks like we got a dock. Yeah. I think it is a little nicer. Car is still, some of these vehicles still need improving. The fact that they make those crazy turns like that, and they make 90-degree sharp turns. I know you saw that. But if I focus, and they just disappear too. So that's nothing new. But I do like the palm trees. That's an added touch. So I think literally I'm just going to end it here because, again, in a helicopter, as long as you've got an open patch, nice little open patch of grass, or open patch of ground, it's nice and level, then you really don't need, a runway and a helipad. You don't need a runway like in an airplane. And I'm fairly certain this is like a school or something. Looks like that's what it would be. But I'm going to land here anyways. It's a nice big open patch. Try not to hit the palm trees because we saw what happens when you hit the tree. I don't know what this is. It's our landing spot. That's what it is. That was a better pony landing. I don't know what this is, like a shopping center, something. Close enough. And that's the center trim. Whoa. Okie dokie. Did not like that. I tried to center the trim. It rotated the whole helicopter. So, again, remember, this has not been officially approved by Taogs Hangar, Taogs Hangar, for 2020. But it's still fun to fly. So some of your Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 aircraft will work, and maybe some features of them won't work, and your flight models will get weird. Let's go ahead and shut her down. And actually, let's do that. So, you're supposed to let this thing idle for 2 minutes. So let's put it on idle. Let me just lower the throttle a little bit, not too much. But it's on idle. And I can sit here and talk for 2 minutes. Well, that's pretty. Well, I'll give it 2 minutes of cool down that it's supposed to have. So, again, I'm pretty impressed by this little flight here. Besides the fact that there's probably a couple things that need to be tweaked on the helicopter, this Huey anyways, see how it shakes a little bit. It's still pretty good. And the add-on scenery was nice. The airport was nice. And I do like watching the flowers just kind of, wave around for their life. They're really rooting and they're pretty strong. They're not going anywhere. So that's a nice little feature that we weren't getting in 2020. And I know you could buy an add-on that would, give you the lift to up my 2020 experience, and I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm getting a little more impressed with the sim the more I try to explore what's possible with it. So, you know, again, a lot of people were talking, and we're just going to compare this to 2020, that, you know, you would break the sim with all your third-party add-ons, and, well, I mean, there's something to the fact that I'm just trying to think and navigate the cockpit in a different way. So there was something to all of that, and I'm fairly impressed. So let's go ahead and shut this thing down. It's got to have been about 2 minutes. Fuel's off. Throttle low, and I should hear the beep, the low RPM beep. There it is. Okay. And what were other steps? Inverter needs to be off. I can leave the generator switch on for right now. I'll leave the battery on. So that was the UH-1h Huey by Taogs Hangar. Made pretty much for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, but I just dropped it into the community folder for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And yeah, there are some differences. It's a little faster than it was in 2020 because I don't think it's been adjusted for 2024. And you may find that if you drop some of your third-party aircraft into your community folder for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, you're going to see some performance issues, and that was noted. You know, we were all given a heads up that if the airplane hasn't been tweaked and adjusted for 2024, you may have certain issues like texturing issues, lighting issues, inaccurate gauges. So, you know, it flies a little differently. I do hope that he either makes a 2024 version or that, you know, there's an adjustment, because there have been a couple other airplanes. The one of the CAL's airplanes, I think it was the DA-42, he adjusted, and I flew that, but that's going to be another video. I just wanted to kind of show you the Huey here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I also want to say, as always, if you like what you saw here, whether you find it funny, informative, or, you know, whatever, even if you don't like my channel, I always encourage you guys to like, share, and subscribe my videos. And hey, subscribers, I love you guys. I mean, you know, you help make the channel go around. And Derp Your Hooves wouldn't exist without you. So, as always, thank you for watching Derp Your Hooves, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the skies.